You know, when life gets really tough, there's this question that kind of sits in the back of our minds. We don't always say it out loud, but it's there. What is this I'm going through? Is this a test from God or is it a punishment? So yeah, let's get right into that. I think we've all been there, right? You're sitting there, the world feels like it's just closing in, nothing's going right, and this one question just echoes in your head. Is God angry with me? Is all of this happening because of something I did? It's a really heavy feeling, but today, we're going to look at a way to find some real clarity.
So first things first, let's try to reframe this whole idea. We're so used to thinking that pain means we're in trouble. But what if that's not the full picture? What if, and this is a huge what if, the very thing we're so afraid of is actually a sign of the complete opposite? What if it's a sign of love?
This right here, this principle, it totally flips the script. It suggests that a trial isn't a sign that you've been forgotten, but a sign that you've been chosen, that this is a moment for you to be elevated. Just think about that for a second. The hardship you're going through could actually be a sign that you've been specially selected. And here's all the proof you need. I mean, if hardship was just about God being angry, then you'd think the people he loved the most, the prophets, would have had the easiest lives ever. But it was the exact opposite, wasn't it? They faced the most difficult, the most severe trials of anyone. So that tells us that suffering isn't always about how far you are from God. Sometimes it's a sign of how close you're being brought to Him.
Okay, so if hardship isn't always what we think it is, how in the world are we supposed to tell the difference in our own lives? How do we figure out if this is a trial to lift us up or a punishment to wake us up? Well, this next part gives us a really clear way to start reading the signs.
And here is the absolute key to this whole thing. It's not about what happens to you on the outside. It doesn't matter if it's a problem with money or your health or your family. The real difference, the real indicator is what happens on the inside. It's all about which direction your heart turns when the pressure is on. So here's the first big difference. Does the hardship push you away from God? Does your heart feel kind of hard, maybe even a little bitter? Does praying suddenly feel like a chore? That's a pretty big sign of a punishment. But a trial does the opposite. It pulls you closer. Yeah, your heart might be breaking for sure, but it breaks open towards God. You find yourself praying more, feeling more humble than you did before.
And let's look at the second key difference. A punishment can feel like it's just draining your faith, maybe even breaking it. It feels like that little light you had inside of you just went out. But a trial? It actually strengthens and purifies your faith. It's like iron being hammered in a fire. I mean, the process is incredibly intense, but you come out of it stronger, tougher, and more pure than you ever were before. And get this, the timing of it all is another huge clue. A punishment often shows up after we've gone astray, and it acts like a merciful break. You know, it's there to stop us from falling even further. It's a wake-up call. A trial, on the other hand, often comes before something amazing, before a huge blessing. It's like a bridge, getting you ready and making you pure enough to receive what's coming next.
So, to quickly recap, the big differences really boil down to four things: the direction your heart is pulled, the state of your heart, the effect it has on your faith, and the overall purpose behind it all. It's basically a map to help you navigate these moments. Now, this brings us to what might just be the most important point of all. Because whether you think you're facing a trial or a punishment, it turns out there's really only one correct way to move forward. The diagnosis is helpful, but the prescription, it's the same for both. The path to relief is actually pretty simple. If it's a punishment, the way out is through sincere repentance. If it's a trial, the way through it is with patient perseverance. But do you see the connection? Repentance and perseverance, both are just different ways of turning back to God. And that's the whole point, isn't it? The goal isn't to break you. It's not to hurt you for no reason. Whether it's a warning or a preparation, the divine goal is always the same: to remake you, to bring you back, and to build a new heart inside you that is closer to Him than it ever was before. So, how can we boil all this down into something we can actually use? Let's just distill everything we've talked about into one final, simple test. This is the one powerful question you can take with you and use for any difficulty you ever face. Here it is. Just ask yourself this one thing. Did this hardship, in the end, push me toward God? If the answer is yes, then it was a trial, a way for you to be elevated. If it pushed you away from Him, then it was a punishment. But a punishment with a purpose. It was a merciful call to come back home. So even in a punishment, there's always an invitation. And we'll end on this really profound thought. It suggests that the mercy that's hidden inside our struggles can sometimes be even greater than the mercy we find when things are easy. It's just a powerful idea to hold on to, that maybe, right in the heart of our pain, there's a hidden grace, a hidden love, that's just trying to bring us to a better place.